All right, listen, time to go back in time. Let's go back to, it's black and white, believe it or not, 1975, May 1975. It's the Late Late Show. It's actually a special commemoration. It's in honour of Micheál O'Hare. Look out for him. And look out indeed for Fred Cogley as well. And our guest today. Have a look at this.
Isn't it the mercy of God he gave up the football? That's all I can say.
I see he still wears the red jersey.
Well, don't you look sweet? Do you remember playing at the Late Late that night?
I do, actually. I've faint memories of it. I remember, obviously, playing at Micheál's, that tribute to Micheál O'Hare. Yeah.
It was lovely. Tell us, is it a long way from Ardee in County Louth to the Late Late Show?
Well, I suppose you could put it that way. Yeah.
Yeah.
Long in some ways, short in others, sure.
Do you remember the first time you took an accordion and you started to play?
Yes. Yeah.
And
it was in Ardee. I was 17, and there was only one accordion in the town. It was owned by a friend of mine called Leo Farrell, and I was getting piano lessons in the convent of Mercy. But I always fancied the accordion. I don't know why. From listening to the old Jimmy Shand records, it was the only one at the time. I liked the sound of the thing. And I went over to Leo, I remember, on probably a Saturday night or Friday night weekend, and I asked him for a loan of his precious accordion, and he gave it to me. I was 17. I took it home and I wrestled with it for an hour, drove the house mad, went to bed, and just before I dropped off to sleep, it dawned on me what the rows of buttons on the left hand were for. I couldn't figure it. I said, they must have something to do with the keys, and probably chords run. Got up the next morning and I played my first tune.
Go off the next morning.
You're kind of self-taught then, in a way, on the accordion.
Oh, yeah, on the accordion, I'm totally self-taught, yeah.
My goodness.
Totally
but of course, having the piano experience.
But I did my scales and arpeggios and all that on the piano.
It's a funny one, though, for a young 17-year-old lad to choose, because in a way, there's a love-hate relationship with the accordion.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Probably if it was now, I'd go on to guitar, or the younger people now are playing the two-row accordions for the trad sound. I don't know why I just picked on that. Now,
of course, it wasn't the only thing that was important in your life at that stage. Now, Micheál actually mentioned in fact it was, he mentioned the football.
Oh, yeah.
You had a big career there.
Yeah, well, football and music have always gone hand in hand with me. It's sort of incongruous pairing, if you like, but it just happened to be, I loved both of them.
And you did very well.
I did exceptionally well for County Louth, which is the smallest county in Ireland, and a very small selection, a small number of senior teams to pick from. But we had a great history from the early 40s right through 57 when we finally won it. I mean, Louth were known for good footballers and nice brand of type of flowing football in those years.
Decent type lads, you see, that's what it was.
We played in 57 now in the final against Cork. And I was looking at an old write-up the other day that said one would have to wonder at the durability of the human frame to withstand the tackling yesterday. There were no names taken, and there was nobody sent off, and there was no punching.
Wow.
So the game was played hard, but...
Would you go a bit of it?
We actually, have a look at this.
We do.
This is actually footage from that 1957 a final where you beat Cork.
That's right.
All right, have a look at this.
Louth and Cork.
And here they come. Louth, O'Brien, O'Neill, Conlon, White, Coleman, Bean, Riley, Cunningham, O'Donnell, Lynch, MacDonald, Rose, Smith, Flood and Meehan. And Cork led by Duggan, Driscoll, Kelleher, Ryan, Harrington, Moore, O'Sullivan, Power, Furlong, Murray, Bernard, Henson, Gould, Fitzgerald and Goulding. Most Reverend Dr. Lucy Bishop of Cork, who is to start the game, is escorted onto the field. His Lordship greets referee Patsy Geraghty, Louth Captain Dermot O'Brien and Cork Captain Neely Duggan before all eyes turn toward the national flag for our own Brien. From the throw-in, Cork get right down to business, and Jim Red Meehan is the first Louth defender to clear his lines. And again Cork surged into attack. Duggan to Kelleher, he to Fitzgerald, and Fitzgerald over the bar to put Cork 2 points in front at half-time. And then it happened. Bean sends in from the sideline, and Sean Cunningham finishes it to the net. Louth are in front again. But Cork still fought. Tom Conlon clears. And then the honour falls to Jim Meehan to repulse those who would try to snatch the title from Louth's grasp. He wants to be there at the finish. And here it is. Louth are All-Ireland champions for the 3rd time. Among our memories of this epic game will be our last look at the old Hogan stand, which are under the memory of Gaeldam's mark.
Well, do you feel proud when you watch that now?
Yes, I do. Yeah, it's a long time ago. It's 40 years next year.
I know.
Yeah.
Listen, come here. What other picture do you have in the attic? Because we know that it's your birthday next Wednesday, and you're 64.
Oh, I'll kill you.
But you're looking brilliant on it.
I feel good, thank God.
Very good.
It's going very well. I want to go back because I remember the Merry Ploughboy.
Yeah, 66.
I am the Merry Ploughboy and Katie Daly and all the crack.
Yeah.
But I remember because I had them at home. But you were on Ember Records. I have them at home on Ember Records, and I was so impressed at the time because Ember Records was the same label Glenn Campbell was on, and I was very impressed with this because this is someone from Ireland. Do you know what I mean? Because at that stage, the business here wasn't that big, and
No.
But yeah, you were on Ember Records. You look like you don't remember that.
No, I really forgotten most of that stuff.
No, you were. Well, you were. And tell us about Jamboree when you came in to do that.
Oh, that was great. That was very early days. I'd say that was about 63, 4.
RT television program.
Yeah, and we were booked for 6 weeks, and I think it ran for 26.
Wow.
It was a very long run, and it really made us, at that time.
Also a huge night
because the
entertainment
dance halls
program.
were proliferating. They were all over the place, and it was great for business. Apart from being in the football fame as well, and then being on a weekly television program, and people weren't as critical in those years as they are now of television stuff.
Yeah.
It was new. And they were very forgiving, so you get away with it.
And there also wasn't a lot. There weren't that many
terrible.
aerials around either because it was RTE and it was RTE.
That's right. You had a choice.
You had a choice.
Take it or leave it.
Turn it on or off. That was your choice.
We've had some lovely calls in. A caller from County Kerry says, I'm a great fan of Dermot O'Brien. It's great to see him again. It was Dermot who influenced me to take up the accordion, and I've been playing it since I was 7. And Anne Hughes, formerly from Dundalk, but who's now living in Monaghan, you recognise Anne's name. She'd like to say a special welcome home to Dermot O'Brien because she's an old friend of his. And speaking of welcome home, this is what your life is like now. Since 1983, you've been commuting between the States and here. What brought you over to the States?
Well, that's a long story, so I won't go into it, but I decided it was necessary to get out of here in '83, and Rosemary and myself and 4 of our children who are still there and doing exceptionally well in New York. We went to the United States. We had one other son, Ronan, didn't come with us. He discovered romance, and he became a daddy for the 2nd time the other day. Lovely. Lovely little girl. So he stayed and married down in RD, in the hometown, although he was born in Dublin. So we went to the States, and we've been there ever since, 14 years now.
What was it like for you? Was it? I mean,
it was very tough.
Yeah,
it was traumatic, really.
Yeah.
It was.
But did you have work when you left here to go there? Was there work waiting on you?
Just a bit.
Just a bit.
Just a bit. Not
scary.
A lot. It was scary, and in fact, in retrospect, if I saw what was ahead of me and what I had to go through to get in there and do what we did, I doubt I probably would have done it.
Right, but the only thing is you've come out at the other end.
Fortune favours the brave, I guess.
It's work, though.
Or the stupid.
Is that part? No, but are you an optimist by nature, do you reckon?
Well, I guess I must be. You go for something and give it your best shot.
And presumably the support of somebody like Rosemary makes it possible.
You wouldn't do it without that.
Yeah. It's great to be able to meet. But you do cruises and everything as well.
Yeah. We do cruises
spots.
to the Caribbean.
Caribbean
Caribbean area, that's the American.
Exactly.
Yeah, I do a lot of cruises, and we did a beautiful cruise last year to, we flew from Los Angeles to Sydney, and we spent 3 lovely days in Sydney with a gang of about 200 people. We were entertaining. Myself and Tommy Macon were the entertainers. And we sailed to Melbourne and then across to Hobart and then Wellington, Dunedin, and back home from
and
you can say
tough
something
life,
like that.
all right.
It's a good job you didn't stay working for Meath County Council. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you can talk about the you know, the struggle and all the rest,
Yeah.
but to be able to say that now and with confidence and do juries for the summer and all the rest
it's
of it,
great.
it's marvellous to be able to do that. So it gives you good life.
Yes, very happy about it.
Oh,
Marty,
listen, of course you don't just play, you sing as well.
Yeah.
And look what we found. Watch this. This is from 1979, and it's from a series called Sing, Sing a Song, and you're singing The Boys of Killybegs.
Oh, my goodness.
Pleasant surrounding sea, and the herring running free, and the fleet all riding gently to the pole. When the boats are loaded down, they'll be singing in the town, when the boys of Killybegs come rolling home. Well, there's purple on the hills, and there's green down by the shore, and the sun has spilled its gold upon the sea, and in the silver down below, where the herring fishes go, when we catch them, there we go, for you and me. When the pleasants are all at sea, and the herring running free, and the fleet all riding gently to the pole. When the boats are loaded down, they'll be singing in the town, when the boys of Killybegs come rolling home. When the boys of Killybegs come rolling home.
A man of very many talents. Dermot O'Brien, many thanks for coming in.
Very kind.
Thank
Good
you for
luck
having me.
here in Clontarf Castle all this week. Good
Yeah.
luck next Monday when you go back to the States. Happy birthday on the following Wednesday.
No, this Wednesday.
Oh, this Wednesday, all right.
Wednesday, yeah.
When you're, I won't say.
Yeah,
Anyway,
no,
I've been pleasure.
Congratulations
Thank
again
you
on
very
juries
much.
in the summer. It was really
Thanks, Mary.
entertaining.
Thank
Really
you
was
very
very good.